the whole reason I'm doing tons, this was my mental process.
Yeah.
I had a perfectly good running Jeep that a core 20 nut found its way into the cylinder, miraculously did not explode the engine, which I guess we don't know that for sure yet because it hasn't started since then.
I was going to say, you haven't started it yet.
It's fully reassembled. But the problem is, as I was reassembling the motor and putting it back together, I went, cool, I need to make real radiator mounts because my janky-ass radiator mounts aren't going to work anymore. And I realized, oh, shit, the power steering pump's in the way. If you've already clicked on it, the episode's called Double Tunned Up on a Tuesday for a reason.
Friday.
Yeah, but
it comes out on Tuesday.
It comes out on
a
Tuesday.
Yes, as always.
PJI are doing basically parallel, identical 1-ton swaps.
Are you doing the same wheelbase as the LJ?
I actually don't know what the measured wheelbase is of the YJ. I'd have to.
Did you stretch it?
It is stretched, yeah.
I'd be curious to see if it's like over or under 110.
I don't remember what the number is. It is the same left and right, which was the important part.
Yeah.
I think it's like 115-ish.
Okay. Because is it 110 or 115?
The LJs are 110.
Okay.
Because the LJs are like 109.5.
Extra 10 inches.
Yeah, everybody wishes they had an extra 10 inches, right? That's I think a lot of the reason it trips me up because it looks super low.
Yeah.
But I think it's really just the length of it.
Kind of what everyone wants to go for anyways. They want low and nimble, but still have all of the down travel.
I'm trying to figure out how to get the tons under it with making space for everything and keeping the same ride height.
Are you sticking with leaf spring?
The rear's going to stay leaf, yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to... That's my struggle, is...
Leaf springs are definitely easier from what I can understand.
Yeah, so originally it was going to stay leaf front and rear, and I was going to basically just do a spring over swap, because right now everything in it is still spring under.
Yeah.
So I figured tons would give me the extra 2-3 inches of lift.
Yeah.
Fit 40s, which will make it even bigger, and everything else will stay the same.
Yep.
Like overall, I'm pretty happy with the performance of it. So it's like there really wasn't much to change it.
Yeah.
The downside was the good deal on axles was a Super Duty front, which has the big cast spring perch.
Yep.
And you can't really move that easily.
I have the same problem with mine.
So then that led to either finding a different front axle or trussing it, which then trussing it and going spring over means it's like an extra 4 or 5 inches of lift.
Yeah.
Which I really don't want to do. So the front's getting 3 linked coil. I'm going to go coil springs. I'm not going coil over.
Okay. Yeah.
It's interesting. There's a lot of...
It's going to be a Cherokee YJ Super Duty hybrid.
There's a lot of back and forth if you really dig into the internet on like if coilovers are really worthwhile for rock crawling.
Anybody that I've reached out to, mostly on Instagram, like how riding with coilovers versus regular coil and spring or coil and shock.
Yeah.
Coil and shock is supposedly more stable in the rocks.
So, yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I've settled on at this point.
I wouldn't know any different because I haven't wheeled with coilovers, so...
Yeah. So the science that I've seen, and it makes sense to me. I mean, basically, unless you have, like, a true, like, dual rate coilover with, like 2 springs and 2 sets of adjusters and everything, in most cases, your coilover at some point may become unloaded.
Yeah.
And then when your spring is completely unloaded, it's not necessarily that it's a bad thing, but you're no longer getting down pressure on that wheel. Where a coil spring, eventually you can run out of spring eventually. Yeah. But if you set it up right, you can basically have equal down pressure through your whole travel.
Yep.
And we happen to have a few sets of dual and triple rate springs for various Jeeps laying around the shop. So
Yeah.
I have some options as far as length, and like the ones I'm probably going to use are the 4.5 XJ ones from Skyjacker, and like that's a long ass spring. Mm-hmm. Like it is a long spring, so I should be able to get a lot of travel out of it, and then I can pick my ride height.
Yep.
Hopefully it'll match the rear, so I don't have to change the rear. I have a gut feeling this is going to turn into a triangulated 4-link in the rear also, because the gas tank's already removed. So
You don't want to have that Carolina lean?
I don't know. I got to build the axles first. Like I have the spool, I have the whole kit to do the 14 bolt. Both axles are in the garage. They're the 14. I was gonna do the 14 bolt first because that's the easy one. Weld purchase on it, gears, spool, brakes.
Yep.
Swap it in.
Shave it? No shave.
Running the 40s, I'm not going to yet.
I always hear that. I feel like shaving it is like what everyone does, but I've heard that it's a pain in the fucking dick.
Oh yeah, it's a lot. Like if you watch the videos of it, it's like 2 inches of solid cast metal that you're grinding off. Like
I just want to know who the first person was to be like, I'm just gonna shave the bottom half of my axle off and see if it works.
There are people I've seen do it with like Sawzall blades. Like they just smoke Sawzall blades and slice it off.
Jesus.
And I'm like, I definitely don't have the patience for that.
No.
The best one that I've seen so far is you take a cutoff wheel and you just hack the shit out of it, and then like at least you feel like you're doing more as you're hitting it with the grinding wheel, but it's still like hours and hours
you just
of
go
grinding.
Full Jeremy Clarkson on it.
Yeah.
Ping, ping, ping.
And that's like originally I was going to, because I was going to keep the 35s, but now we have that set of 40s.
Yep.
So
You still have them? Or are they at the old shop?
They're at the old shop.
Ah, yes.
But technically we still have them.
Yes.
Still have the old shop. Oh, maybe not. I don't know when this comes out. But yeah, like with like, because all it is, the only benefit for it is ground clearance.
Yeah.
And it like, I mean,
I feel like
I can tell you now, when I don't shave it, even with 40s, that first time I get hung up on it, I'm going to shave it probably the weekend later.
Damn it.
Yeah, I should have shaved it.
I feel like with the Milestars, running Milestar 40s is a good, not cop out, but a good way to like do 40s without getting like fucking super swamp for 40s.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, anything
Like they're
anything
big
over
street
37,
tires.
yeah, anything over a 37 is an investment.
Yeah.
Like yeah, like that's the thing is like the way I'm building this, it should be able to run bigger.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't want to buy 40s and then go, damn, I should have done 42s.
Yeah.
I also don't want to buy 40s and go, this is a cheat code, I want to go down to 37s.
The only reason I would ever go up in size is if I didn't have enough ground clearance on something.
Right.
Which was the whole of Moab.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's this is my mental struggle on the whole thing is always like, we've always been so good with mechanical sympathy as far as like picking good trails, picking good lines. Like,
Yeah.
I've really never gotten to something and been like, I want to do that, but I don't think I can.
Yeah.
I like, and I don't know how much of that is the vehicle versus the driver versus the terrain. Like, yeah, we could go do Pritchett Canyon and probably beat the fuck out of our Jeeps, struggle and break shit.
Yeah.
But we also recognize like that's probably going to happen, so we don't go do Pritchett Canyon.
Yep.
And it's like, if I had 40s, yeah, I'd love to go do Pritchett Canyon, but do I need 40s?
Yeah.
Or do I just need to get over that mental like hurdle of
Bending control arms and blowing up
if
your
it
diff.
breaks, it breaks. Like, yeah. Go figure. That was a 25-mile-an-hour speed limit on the way to daycare. But yeah, it's just like I don't know.
Yeah.
And then there's like the other part of me that's just like, fuck it, sell the YJ project and build out the JK. And then the other part of me is like, sell the JK and finish the YJ project.
So many Jeep projects.
And then today is buy a Porsche Cayenne and make it an overland rig. And tomorrow,
ADD.
tomorrow will be, ooh, I need another BMW.
Yeah.
Oh, the lease is up? Oh, okay. What do we get next?
Mine is building the Mazda into an Overlander, building
Yes.
the truck into a full pre-runner,
Yes.
going like full Dirt King
Yeah.
with a skinny guy on the back.
I think that takes away some of the pre-runner.
Yeah, but I want to have the best of both worlds. That's kind of what I'm trying to do with the truck.
Honestly, I do... not to turn this into an overlanding episode, but I think that's the benefit of overlanding is you kind of get a little bit of both. Like, you can build a pretty nice suspension and really enjoy fire roads. Like, is it a waste of money? Probably.
That
Does it
is the
increase
difference.
and enhance your experience? 100%.
That's where I like the Gladiator platform and the new 4-door JLs, Tacomas, and Forerunners. I said pre-runner. Those are the vehicles that are supposed to be overlanding, which is why I appreciate the new JLs, because it's more geared toward doing both now.
I would argue...
Because if you try and do that in a TJ,
Yeah.
it's fucking miserable.
Yeah.
Like running back roads on stock suspension in a TJ, you fucking have your spine rattled through your fucking brain.
Yeah. 100%. But that's where that's where the investment in suspension comes in.
Yes.
Like that's
where coilovers come into play.
100. Yeah. So like the coilover market is really like it's a race car thing.
Yeah.
And I don't remember if this was in the episode or not, but when we talked to Eric Miller, like we talked about like coilovers and like how you just don't need it.
Yeah.
Like
there's an application for everything.
They use it for serviceability more than performance. Like the customization side of it, everything else, like they're still adding a shock on top of their coilover. So like the coilover essentially is just acting as a coil spring, but you're also talking $5,000-$6,000 per coilover.
Yeah.
Like they have $15,000, $20,000, $50,000 in some of these rigs invested in just shocks.
Yep.
And it's like, that $5,000 kit you bolted into your Wrangler isn't doing the same thing that the Ultra 4 car is. Nope. And like, is it really... Like my argument would be your long arm kit that came with that coilover kit is doing more for your ride quality than the coilover is.
Yeah. It's a rigid control arm that grounds the whole suspension from moving and twisting like a stock suspension would. The
best analogy I've ever seen for long arms versus short arms is if you take a broom, like you go out in your garage and you take your broom, grab it, halfway or more down the handle and try and push it across the floor.
Yep.
At some point, your force is going to push the broom down into the ground and you're going to roll it forward.
Yep.
But now take the broom, hold it all the way at the top of the handle and do the same thing.
Yep.
And that broom just kind of glides across the floor because it has less down pressure and more forward pressure.
Yep.
So when you have your short arm Jeep, it's the same concept where it's pushing the wheel into the ground, which for daily driving and handling is what you want.
Yeah.
Right? Because you want contact on the ground.
Yeah.
But then when you're off-road, you want that longer lever because it allows the wheels to work over the rocks a lot easier. And you can do that with a coil spring.
Geometry. And physics. Maths.
Yeah. That's our side quest. Building new steps for my deck. And Carrie's like, how do you know how to measure it? I was like, I use a ruler. And she's like, yeah, but how do you know like how to get the angle right? I was like, it's just 90-degree angles.
Digital gauges.
She's like, but it's not a 90-degree angle. I was like, but it is because it's a triangle, and I just reference everything off a 90-degree angle.
Obtuse.
And I was like, if you really wanted to calculate it out, you could. I don't need to because there's online calculators that I just put in two measurements.
We don't have a whiteboard.
Thank God. you people think I ramble now.
It's that scene from Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah, no, that's 100% it. And then, yeah, yep. Yeah, I mean, it's Fuck, we side quested hard.
Yeah.
Tons. We're talking about axles. Yeah, so the YJ is getting a 14 bolt in the rear that I'm not going to shave. We're running 40s.
Yep.
It's going to have a full spool. I think I ordered 488s. I don't remember.
That would be a good license plate, unshaved.
I'm Russell. I'm a wilderness explorer.
UNSHVD.
If only the YJ was getting license plates.
Yep. You could get antique tags, technically.
Yeah, then I got to register it and the government knows it.
Just get
pay taxes on it.
Fake ones. Just put fake ones on it.
Oh, yeah, I could do that. Oh, I could do like one of those like European German plates.
You probably get more letters out of that one.
Oh, I could definitely get more letters out of that one.
You could do little 2 dots over the U.
Yeah. Unshaved. Unschatten. And side quest complete. Yeah, that's gonna be in the rear. Front's a Super Duty 60. That's gonna get. Honestly, I think I'm gonna buy the TJ truss because math is hard, as we talked about in the one side quest. So instead of actually having to land all my own axle mounts, I'm gonna just.
Oh, like the Barnes one?
Yeah, you can get the TJ.
Yeah.
Swap, and then it's a bolt into the TJ because the TJ frames are basically the same width as the YJ.
Yeah.
So it's basically cutting half the fab work in half.
Basically.
Cutting the fab work in half, not half the fab work in half. Anyway, that'd be a quarter of the fab work.
Yeah. I'm trying to do the opposite, but.
Well, no, you're like, so that's, you have it, dare I say, easy because you have a TJ, so you can just buy the TJ swap trusses and bolt those axles into your Jeep.
True. Now, I have the majority of the stuff I need to do the rear already because Hadley already cut the majority of it out. I just need to either start just rebuilding the axle first and then start cutting or vice versa.
Well, you also have matching axles, so you could. Well, is one blown up?
The rear one was.
Never
It's
mind.
got the grooves cut into the carrier.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it needs a pinion.
Yep. Darn.
Oh no. Are you gonna keep it streetable, or are you gonna go do the spool thing?
My intent is to keep it streetable.
So you're buying lockers and.
I might just do your like lunchbox locker, just simple. Because I don't really care about doing airlines and Airbnbs and all that fucking bullshit yet.
You can go e-locker.
Yeah. I'm just trying to keep it simple.
You know me, I'm a big e-locker fan.
Yep.
Way less moving parts.
I'm all for simplicity and keeping it on the road.
They work great until your friends start pushing buttons in your Jeep.
Yes. Thanks, Tim. Fucking dick. What's this do? So it's Tim's fault.
Working theory.
Honestly, that might have been what twisted your control arms.
Could have been. Don't think it was. That's what I'm trying to figure out is what happened first. Like that's my struggle point is did whatever lock up in the rear end because it's rear end related, which is why I don't think it had anything to do with him flipping it.
Because the rear is the e-locker, right?
Front and rear e-locker, yeah.
Which one has the airline?
Neither of them. They're both
e-lockers.
e-lockers.
Airline. Huh. Never mind.
Yeah, they're both e-lockers. But like, as I was trying to limp it home after that, when I got into the co-op parking lot and I got out, like the pinion area was smoking on the rear axle. So I know it's rear axle related.
Yeah.
But I don't know what happened for like did those rear control or the rear uppers finally give out and buckle, which is what caused me to skid and then pinion angle and everything else just heat up, or
how broken are they? Or are they just bent?
No, they're cracked.
Oh.
Like you can where the factory bend is like call it 15 degrees.
Yeah.
They're like 45 now.
Ooh.
So like and they're both the exact same thing. Like that factory buckle just gave out. And that's why I say like I don't know if like a pinion bearing exploding would be enough, but like the part that really is fucking with my brain is after it happened, I was able to limp it off the road in 4-wheel drive.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't know if that was a torque thing or if the front axle was now pulling. But, like, driving it...
Are you doglegging it?
Probably. But, like, I've had diffs explode from no oil before. And it's like, you get 15 miles of... And you're like, what's that noise? And then all of a sudden it explodes.
Ugh.
I had none of that. It was literally like, I was 3 miles into a drive, cruising, windows down, like, nice day, taking the kid to daycare, and just out of nowhere, just the whatever, like, the skid and the bang were all at the same time. So it was just like the wheels just locked up, and I just skid off, like, had complete control, but, like, was able to just...
Maybe it was a perfect storm.
That's why I honestly, because when I got it home, like, it's still on the trailer, but when I got it home, I pulled the fill plug.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, there's got to be oil in this.
Yeah.
There's oil in it. Like, there's oil leaking onto the trailer. And, like, I can stick my finger and it's lower. Like, it's not, like, full because it does have a leak, but there's oil in it.
All we ever did was geared, right? We haven't changed any, like, shafts or anything else on that?
Yeah. That's why I'm pretty sure, like, I think the control arm failure put it at a weird driveline angle.
Yeah.
And it made what was probably already a worn out bearing really unhappy. And because it was a quick shock load.
Oh.
I wonder.
Was it the front? No. It was the rear that was loose. Like, it may have been before you bought it.
Yeah.
It was like bing, 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 bing.
Yeah, you're right. We did snug up the crush sleeve before we left.
Maybe the bearing was toasted.
Just low oil.
Yeah.
Bearing toast. Axle shifts at speed.
Fucking amazing. It made it to Utah and back.
And then, like, I drove it every day for a week after that.
You had
drove
the
it
opposite
to
of what
Kayla's
happened
and back.
to my Jeep.
Yeah. So I don't know. It should be a relatively simple fix because, like, me trying to drag it home was a quarter mile.
Yeah.
And then I put it on the trailer. So,
Just
like,
ask Hadley if he has any more tons.
no, that locker has less than 10,000 miles on it.
You just sell those axles to somebody else. Put them in Travis's Jeep.
It sounds like it's getting expensive.
Yeah. For Travis.
Travis, buy my axles for 10 grand so I can buy tons. And
Exactly.
Then I break even. And I have 2 not running Jeeps.
Yeah.
The whole point of buying the shop Jeep was so I had a Jeep to do Jeep things with.
Yes.
So I have to fix this one.
Yes.
But the suspension is getting... Honestly, I think the suspension is going to be the bulk of this because the way it drove after all of that... Yeah.
Please sponsor this build. Thank you.
I put it in the air the other day. Yeah,
Just a little drop in the water.
Yep, just one drop at a time. Fill the bucket. You know what I'm saying? No, like it drove. You could tell like there's there's something dragging.
Yeah.
And obviously the smoking diff.
Yeah.
Was a problem.
I've had an outer bearing fail on me because I put the wrong sides in. Because they're different legs. Yeah. Whatever.
But yeah, I think the pinion itself, the ring gear is going to be fine. Like I think it's going to be I'm going to basically have to do fresh bearings in the rear end. Obviously new control arms, but it's about time to upgrade all that stuff because that was an old Rockcrawler kit in there anyway.
The control arms?
Yeah.
Really? Mm-hmm. Or is it just the lowers?
So it's just lowers.
I was gonna say I would not imagine the Rockcrawler ones would bend like that.
No, it's the factory. Okay. It's the factory uppers. But the lowers are fresh. Like I say, freshly rebuilt. But we recently rebuilt Tom's lowers, like 3 years. Minimal mileage.
Yeah, I vaguely remember doing that when we did the front axle.
Yeah,
because we did springs at the same time.
Now, and obviously I knew this when we were buying it, but like I could have sworn we had rear uppers for him, and either they just didn't get put in, or I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But beside the point, I want to go full X Factor everything in it. Yeah, because
I still need to replace all of mine.
Yeah. SideQuest. Back to
We'll
your
figure
to your
that
tons.
out
Yeah.
when we actually start putting the axles underneath of mine. Because
Are you going to keep your 35s, do you think? Or are you going to go to like 37s?
I don't think I have a choice because the wheels and tires won't fit.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're going to have
But
to get wheels and tires regardless.
I was going to go up to at least a 37
Yeah.
for now.
Yeah.
Because my intent is been on Marketplace looking for
Rollers.
super dirty wheels.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to find one that is at least cool enough or decent enough to just run them.
Yeah.
Still look good, but is just a compromised cheap wheel for whenever like Rock
Yeah.
Crawler
I mean, you could
or
Rocktrix.
Rocktrix comes out with some bead locks.
They're in development, supposedly.
So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, 37 is probably going to be my limit right now because going anywhere past that is expensive.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I want to do 37s on the JK, but I told myself I wasn't going to put money into the JK until the YJ was running again.
Yeah.
And now I have to fix the JK.
It's okay. I'll put all my ton budget on a firm.
I
still need to buy parts
$30,000
for.
in credit card debt. I mean, East Coast Gear Supply usually gives us a pretty good deal.
The hard part is like, I know it's out of a 2005 Super Duty, but I don't know where to start looking for parts.
99 to 08.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure the range is 99 to 08. It's either 08 or 06.
Because it'll be brake lines, see if the calipers work. If not a big deal. We could probably get them through.
My plan, so I have the same front axle. You can get rebuild kits.
Yeah.
I was just going to rebuild them.
The calipers?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because I started all my research on my rear axle. The 14 bolt calipers were like $85. The rebuild kits were like $6 in Rock Auto.
Yeah. The rear.
Your rear?
Yeah. I was gonna say I don't remember if my rear was drum or not. I was like, no, it's not drum.
Yeah. Although the 60 brakes are probably cheaper.
Yeah.
So
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm not too worried about the brakes as long as I can stop somewhat without changing my master cylinder and all that shit. But
you're gonna have to change your master cylinder.
Damn it.
That I can guarantee you that.
Oh well.
That is a given.
The list.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. That's and then you may have to run new brake lines too.
Yeah, that I anticipated because they're all cut anyways.
Well,
but I was gonna run.
I think you need 1/4 inch brake lines. I think you need higher volume brake lines.
Yeah, probably. I was gonna run solid stainless lines down the frame.
Yeah.
And then run it down one of the control arms.
Yeah. Isn't it amazing how I'm just going to get tons and swap them into my Jeep turns into let's take the body off so we can do a really nice stainless steel brake lines. Oh, and while the body's off, we'll go ahead and do this, and this. Right?
That's how it turns into both sides. And
it's a
full
problem.
roll cage.
It's a problem. I just want to have like normal. I wish I could mentally just build junk. Like I wish I was comfortable enough to go stick like 2 different front leaf springs in to compensate for the perch on the 60. Hope it sits level. A bunch of janky steering on Heim joints that I booger weld together and just go out. But no,
I mean, we could go full.
I don't want
grand
to.
tour.
I could. You're 100% right. I could have axles in that Jeep in a day and a half.
Which I wish we were at that point where
you don't care. Yeah.
Well, you, me, or Tim or Trevor, or all 4 of us get like a budget to go buy a shit box Jeep.
Oh yeah.
And all of us just build our own.
I mean, that's how I wheeled for like 6 years.
And like take a trip to wherever we're like
100%. It's gonna happen.
Tasked with going.
I want to do
and challenge each one of those rigs.
I want to do
and then the backup rig.
Yeah.
Is a Bronco.
Branco. No, the trip I want to do is I want to fly somewhere, buy garbage,
that too,
and overland it home.
Yeah.
Like, how much fun would it be to fly to like Maine, find some rusty ass first gen 4Runner and try and like drive the MABDR back home.
Yeah.
That could be a lot of fun.
Tons.
Side quest complete. Ding. Yeah, I mean, the whole reason I'm doing tons, this was my mental process.
Yeah.
I had a perfectly good running Jeep that a mysterious quarter 20 nut found its way into the cylinder. Miraculously didn't. It doesn't work when you're here. The quarter 20 nut found its way into the cylinder, miraculously did not explode the engine. Which I guess we don't know that for sure yet because it hasn't started since then.
I was going to say, you haven't started it yet.
It's fully reassembled. But the problem is, as I was reassembling the motor and putting it back together, I went, cool, I need to make real radiator mounts because my janky ass radiator mounts aren't going to work anymore. And I realized, oh shit, the power steering pump's in the way.
Yeah.
Or not pump, the steering gear.
Yeah.
Because it's got the upgraded Durango steering gear and it's moved forward for the stretch. And I was like, man, that's in the way of my radiator. I guess I'll just go full hydro. And then I'm like, why am I going to put full hydro on a Dana 30? Oh, look, here's a good deal on tons that were sitting in my yard for 8 years now. So they became my tons.
Yep. That's
how good of a deal they were. Storage fees really added up quick.
Yep. They were almost free.
Yeah. Yeah. It's more of a trade.
Yeah,
because he's gonna get the axles out of the YJ, which are better built than what are in his XJ, and they should bolt into the XJ.
I keep forgetting he still has the XJ.
Yeah, I think he forgets he has the XJ sometimes.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that poor thing.
So then it was like, oh well, I'll just put those on leaf springs. Let me pull a couple quick measurements. Oh, okay, I guess that's gonna have to get 3-linked. Woo, 4-link coilovers. Wait, can't afford that. Okay. No coilovers. Oh, how am I going to do this? And now here we are where I'm like, okay, well, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. And now what should have been 2 weeks worth of motor work and wiring is we're now a year and a half in of it sitting in my garage basically untouched. And I bought another Jeep to drive while I build this Jeep.
Yes.
I think we have a problem.
Yeah. All of us do.
Yeah.
Except for Trevor. But Trevor has different circumstances.
And yeah, as in he doesn't have a toolbox.
Yes.
If I could tell you,
we are the toolboxes.
Yeah. If I couldn't do this work myself, I don't think I'd have these mindsets.
No.
If I was just the backyard guy with a welder, yeah, there'd be some janky repairs done on that thing. And honestly, and this is why it bothers me. It would probably work just fine. How many times have we been to the Cove or on a trail and you're just like, that's a death trap. Yeah. And he goes, I built this 35 years ago. It still runs good. And we're like, fuck.
Or, I just finished it this weekend.
Yeah.
This is my testing tune. Yep. Ping, ping.
Yeah, I was bored. And my buddy and I accidentally built this with spare parts.
Not knocking on anybody's shit, but there are some fucking hideous rigs that come out of the Cove.
And they work.
But they just work. That's the best part about some of the things that we build or work on is the simplicity is all that you need.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yep.
But I love it.
Yep.
Because you could put just a simple rectangular frame, build some fucking leaf spring perches, slap some axles underneath of it, build like some weird triangulated roll cage, put a steering wheel in it and some switches. That's it.
Yeah. Would I trust that roll cage to save my life? No.
No.
Does it bounce you around the woods
fucking square tubing
on the weekend? Hell yeah. And that's like that. Like that's the problem is like I want to do more than bounce around the woods on the weekend, which is why I want to build nice things.
Yeah.
But it just escalates so quickly.
Yeah.
Because like you're in the same boat with your axles because you were just gonna buy them and bolt them in essentially.
Yeah.
That was the original plan.
Well, now that I've done enough research here and there, like it's gonna need some hydro assist if I want to drive it on the road.
Yep.
I'm probably gonna have to do the master cylinder.
Yep.
I already know I'm gonna have to rebuild the rear diff.
Yep.
It's gonna need some form of overhaul in the front.
The wildest thing of that whole thing, rebuilding the rear diff is probably the least time consuming thing.
Because what did we say? I forget what the gears were in it.
I think the factors are like 373s or something.
Yeah, which is more than enough. I mean, that could go bigger
If you're
or up in size.
I mean, I would, especially with a 4-liter.
That's the part where I'm debating on whether or not just rebuild the rear for now, run it as it is, figure out what needs to change, and then re-gear later on down the road. Because if I'm re-gearing the rear, I have to do the front. So it's like...
Yeah, but if you are rebuilding the rear, you might... Like, the difference between rebuilding it and re-gearing it is $150 in ring and pinion. Well,
True.
$250 in ring and pinion because it's a 60.
True.
That's the dilemma is, do you take a day, buy 2/3 of the parts and rebuild it and not touch the front? Or do you rebuild it with the gears you want and do the front later and just wait 3 months?
Yeah.
Like, you at least have the benefit, like the Jeep is usable in its current state. So,
Batteries died, but
yeah, well,
it's like a 4 or 5 year old red top at this point.
yeah.
So when I go out to start it, it's...
Oh, yeah.
It's like,
Either that or you got a bad ground somewhere.
don't think so. I mean, the terminals are fucked, so...
You throw the battery tester on it?
Yeah. I already tested it. The battery's fucked.
Oh, so we know the battery's
between
fucked.
letting the battery die, the
Alternator killing
the
itself.
alternator killing itself,
which probably accelerated the battery
well, it killed itself the first time when I pulled my neighbor out of the mud hole.
Yeah.
Because the winch was just fucking overworking.
Yeah.
But
time for an Odyssey.
Yep.
Sorry, Eric.
I've looked into them. It's either that or there's like 2 other ones.
Flaming River, I think, or something like that, right?
Overland people use.
I said Flaming River. Is it
Flaming
I
River.
think it is. Oh, no. Sorry. Flaming River is the steering column company. What's the battery? There's something there.
There's like 2 other ones. It's like North Star or something, I think. Because I found a couple forum posts that are like, don't use Optima, don't use Odyssey, blah, blah, blah. I bought this for the warranty. I'm like, there's a lot of caveats to having different batteries, so.
What's the name of it? This is going to bother me. We met them at either Expo or SEMA.
I think it was SEMA. Because it's the one you're talking about, they were like right next to Red Arc and all the like battery people. Obviously.
This is going to bother me now.
Because then the other point on the battery situation is, do I just run a bigger battery or do I run dual batteries?
Yeah. I mean,
because
if it's just a rock crawler and you're not setting up a welder, like
no.
The
because I've got the winch. I bought myself an aux beam.
Yeah.
For the Jeep and the truck.
Okay.
So I'm gonna have plenty of space for accessory stuff to be wired up.
Google's failing me right now. It's giving me every battery company but the one I'm looking for.
The winch is the biggest one. As long as there's enough power going to the winch.
Yeah. I mean, you can just get an upgraded capacity, like a deep cycle.
Yeah, that too.
For your winch, and you'll be fine. Damn, I don't know. I can't find it. It's gonna. I'm about to give up. The worst part is, like, we just pulled one of their batteries out of that CJ. That blue and white one that's sitting on the floor out of the half cap CJ.
Yeah,
it's that brand. Yeah. See. Yep.
I'm pretty sure that one's a North Star.
Is it?
Hold on. I'm Googling.
Anyway.
But yeah, that's the other issue I have right now.
Yeah. So it sounds like tons are like the least of our problems.
Yeah. Because the problem with the truck now is I have that oil leak that I'm mitigating at this point. And the low oil light doesn't come on until it's bone dry, which is nice.
That's unfortunately kind of a standard for modern cars.
Yeah.
Like they'll run down to a court before it's a problem.
True.
Which is why like it's nice.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, like it's kind of nice that it has the ability to run that low on oil without causing problems. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like there's no way it's not causing a long-term issue.
Oops.
Did you find it or no?
Pretty sure it's that one? Or is it different?
It's different than that.
Okay. Anyway.
Yeah. Tons. Side quest. This is bad. This is an ADD-ridden podcast.
The other goal for at least the rear end is put another what is it called? Damn it. Brain fart.
Truss.
No.
Locker. Axle shafts. Brakes.
Rock jock sway bar.
Oh, the anti-rock.
Yes, the anti-rock.
The
in the
anti-rock
rear.
sway bar, yeah.
So I want to do anti-rock in the rear just to help with the stabilization and get rid of the sway bar because you don't need it.
Yeah.
Relocate the spring purchase.
You have one in the front already, right? Yeah.
And then I might be able to get away with extending the gas tank further back and giving myself a little bit more room for the axle itself.
I think, is it Generator or Motor Builder? Maybe both have a...
I think it's both at this point.
Have a stretch tank.
Because on the LJ specifically, as we found out, it has that extra
does have this
cross
space,
member in the back that you can bolt straight up to the rear bumper.
Yeah.
So, because that's my other plan is to do it without fully stretching it because I don't want to stretch it.
Yeah, you got to cut all your body panels and stuff at that point.
Because
you also really have no reason to.
Yeah, it's an LJ.
Yeah.
I like the idea of stretching it and doing all that fancy shit, but I feel like I don't need to. It's like coilovers. Everyone wants to, just stretch it. No, I don't want to.
Yeah, I feel like that's so much ancillary, unnecessary work.
Yeah.
And like on an LJ, like, what are you going to do? Go like...
If it works, don't touch it.
3 inches?
Yeah.
Like, like
I get for clearance sake,
right.
And that's the only thing I'm keeping in mind. Like, if there's something that has to be stretched for clearance and like,
if anything,
drivability,
it's the other way around.
Yeah.
Where when you stretch it, you have to make room. You have to back half the frame. You have to move the gas tank. You have to move the exhaust. Like, you have to do so much more to stretch it.
Yep.
Where like the argument against stretching it is, you don't need to make the clearance.
Yep.
And again, you don't, because it's like I said, you're not gonna stretch an LJ 6 inches. That's just buy a 4-door JK at that point.
Yep.
Like, actually, I think that may be longer than a 4-door JK.
Probably.
If you added that much to an LJ,
so it's more reason to get high centered.
Yeah. Yeah, your breakover angle would be garbage, especially with long arms and tons. Like, yeah.
I love having the tires stick out first, but for what we're doing, we want to do stuff in stock form.
But
like,
but if you run a stubby bumper and highline fenders, which you already have, you can get your tire first onto things. Yeah. And just get a bigger tire at that point, too.
Exactly.
And with you'll be able to fit 37s or 8s probably pretty comfortably.
I'm on
trimming.
the fence about redoing the front spring perch and that whole arch. Do like the Barnes
side
kit and like re-weld all that stuff back in to make it look nicer, but
I don't know you really need to.
I don't think I'll need to.
I had to add all that.
Yeah. Which is easier for you.
Yeah. I mean, to an extent.
You just have to cut off the
shock mounts.
The shock mounts and fucking beep beep.
Yeah, pretty much.
Tack it in place and measure out.
I think
cycle it.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a feeling when I actually get around to doing all this, I'm going to be mad at how easy it was.
Yeah.
and I'm gonna kick myself for not doing it sooner.
Yeah.
Because it's literally like $500 because I have all the Heims I need. Mm-hmm. It's $500 in truss, brackets, and tubing.
Yep.
And the front axle can go in.
Yep.
And I'm gonna be like, damn.
The other thing I wanted to add, and there's some, I don't remember his Instagram name now, but it's an orange LJ out west who's got, I want to say he's just got Rubicon 44s.
Yeah, but on a TJ, that's
shocks and springs.
The TJ is literally half the weight of a JK, so like that's more than enough.
He installed the Terraflex bump stops.
The speed bumps.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the rear and the front, and I was like, ooh, that would be a good addition, especially with the tons.
Yeah.
Because I already know I have to relocate my rear spring perch on the frame side anyways.
Yeah.
And if I'm going to be wheeling it like that, fucking why not?
Yeah. Yeah, when you start getting into like actually building a high performance suspension, like I think bump stops go overlooked because like it's simple math, but like when you buy those extended bump stop kits or bump stop extensions that come with your lift kit, like you're not like, even when we're installing them, I always like forget like, oh yeah, that like this is a pretty critical piece.
Yeah.
I mean, speed bumps for rock crawling are probably overkill.
Yeah.
But if you got the money, why not? I don't think it's going to make anything worse.
No. I also like the idea of getting rid of the polymer ones. That way they don't just disintegrate.
Yeah.
And the bump stops, the hybrid ones are rebuildable anyways and serviceable. So you buy them once and...
Yeah. I mean, at that point, you can go like... You don't have to get the Terraflex ones. You can go King or...
some
Fox or... I think even Bilstein has a speed bump.
Because all you need is the bracket.
Just a can, yeah. You just weld the can on.
Yep. Simple.
Yeah.
To keep it simple, stupid.
Yep. Pull the spring out, stuff the axle, put your bump stop in.
I think the other... I don't know how much Atlas transfer cases are.
$5,000.
Yeah. That's going to be on like the 5-year plan for that.
So the poor man's Atlas is a Dana 300 geared 4-to-1.
Yeah.
Which I have to figure out how to get it in my Jeep.
Yeah.
But I have one on my garage bench that I took apart to rebuild.
Yep.
And wanted to rebuild it with a 4-to-1 kit. The 4-to-1 kit was like, I think $400 at the time.
Yeah.
But I had to flip it. I had to, which I guess I still have to flip it. The flip kits, it was COVID, so the flip kits were unavailable.
Of course.
The one company making it was like, we're not taking orders for the flip kit. Now there's a couple different companies that make it, and they are available. They're all billet, so it's like unnecessarily expensive, but like you do get the dual shifter and all the cables and everything that comes with it. And I already have, from what I've read, I should be able to bolt it through with like a homemade adapter plate.
Yeah.
So like one of the first things I mill on the mill at the shop may be like a clocking ring for my transfer case.
Yeah.
So I can get a Dana 300 in there. Because it is a stock Grand Cherokee drivetrain in that thing.
Yeah.
And I can only imagine that's only going to last so much longer, but I have time for that.
Yeah.
The Atlas is definitely the simplest way. You just order the Atlas to fit whatever you have.
I feel like that's another one of those like cheat codes in the industry.
Gearing?
No, just like
Atlas.
Just buy an Atlas and that's all you need to do. But I know there's caveats to that, and like there's more to it. Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I think the cheat code aspect of it comes from the gear ratio performance.
Yeah.
Like getting that 4-to-1 multiplier is, and it's simplicity, right? Like when you look at Jeeps, an Atlas is bolt-in.
Yeah.
You can buy an Atlas, swap it into any Jeep, and immediately have more low range.
Yep.
Like,
it's kind of like coilovers for the drivetrain.
Yeah. It's just not cheap.
Yes.
If they were $1,000, I would 100% call it a cheat code.
Affirm payments, baby.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you can usually find them used, and they're based on the Dana 300, so they're all gear driven. Like they're stout transfer cases, so buying a used one is not a bad move.
I think that is the other benefit to the Atlas is it's such a well built transfer case that it's kind of worth the $5,000.
You could put it in anything.
To put it in anything, it'll fucking last.
Yeah.
God knows however long if you physically take care of it.
When your LJ eventually rusts away in 30 years,
No, don't say that.
It's an LJ.
Hey.
The fact that it's made it 30 years is a miracle. 30 years from now, if it's not dust, it may go in a museum. It may be the last one.
Hopefully. That'd be cool.
Our museum?
Yeah.
I don't know. Were you around when we talked about, like, parking as we junk our vehicles and wreck them, we were going to park them in my back field and start the Dirt Nerds Museum? It was the trip after I blew up Scrap Heap, the ZJ. We came home and it was on the trailer, and Tim said that to my wife. I've never seen her angry.
It needs to be an airplane hangar.
Oh, bougie.
That's not bougie.
Oh, you mean like a pole barn style hangar, like not like not like
Like
private jet.
Barn Find.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of liked just lining them up in the field to rot because at some point like a tree goes through the hood of one of them, and like our grandkids are going, "What's the story of that one?" Oh, let me tell you about that time that we launched that through the air.
Yeah. I don't know if I would ever want to see my Jeep just fucking rot away.
Yeah, yeah. I'd rather just get rid of it. Like knowing that Scrap Heap is a beer can somewhere, like kind of gives me a little bit of solace. Like somebody pulled the cats out of it, probably sold the tires, and now it's a can of Steel Reserve. Like that, to me, that's full circle.
Yep. Yep.
But yeah, we've joked about making a Dirt Nerds Museum, and we realized that would require us actually keeping a vehicle.
The Dirt Nerds Off-Road Museum.
God. Nobody listens to the podcast. Who's going to come to our museum?
The entrance fee is you have to give us a 6-pack of beer.
I'm in. You guys can walk around my garage. Give me a 6-pack of beer. I'll let you pick through the piles of parts that I don't need. I got half a CJ7 frame if everybody wants it.
Pick and pull. All you got to do is bring beer.
It's not a good business model.
Yeah, but when it's 30 years from now and none of those vehicles are around, people are picking parts for something that doesn't exist.
I mean, it's hard enough to find used parts for these things now because they don't exist. Because they rotted away to nothing.
Kind of like my Jeep.
Yeah.
There's only so much I can get away with on TJ parts.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Well, and like, as good as the heavy duty stuff is, I do feel like it does accelerate the death of a vehicle.
Yeah.
You're adding weight. You're adding so much weight to things. You're adding layers, which then trap all your moisture and mud and dirt and like sand and grit and mud, wearing paint off. Like,
yeah,
it's like in the off-road world, it's just impossible to fight all of it, and you just have to keep replacing things until it's and hope for the best.
Yeah, that's the one downside to the armor.
Yeah.
I've taken them off a couple of Jeeps before, and then you see the underside, and you're like,
oh, good thing we took this off now. It's just the maintenance side.
That's why I went as best as I could to seal the side steps that I did, because the aluminum ones I'm not too worried about. Yeah. Put a little bit of RTV along the edge of it just to like keep some of the dirt and debris out of it, because it just sits in there. Yeah. It just looks like an ant farm when you take it off. It's great.
Yep. What's the old reel video? The impact, like working on off-road rigs, and you hit the first ball, and all the mud just falls right in your face.
That was Peck Brothers.
Yeah.
That was like one of their first videos.
Yeah. It's good times. Good times. Oh man, I don't know. A lot of side quests, but the tons are, I think, pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, looking for rollers.
Yep.
I don't really want to spend $100 on rollers that I'm not going to use. That's why I'm trying to go a little bit out of my comfort zone to try and find ones that I can use off-road still.
Yeah. I personally would be looking for like a set of roller steelies.
Yeah.
Simple. You can do DIY B-locks at that point.
True. Yeah.
Like, paint them any color you want.
There's a dude in Percival that wants like $900 for Super Duty. I'm assuming simulated beadlocks, but they're Super Duty
like
wheels.
Off a Tremor?
No.
What are
Like
they
old
off
05
of?
Super Duty. Like old. I think I have it saved, but I can show you. He had them up for like $1,200.
Oh.
But it's wheels and tires.
Yeah.
So.
But I haven't looked in a while, and I also need something.
Yeah, because at this point, all I'm really worried about is just getting them under the Jeep and being able to at least
Here you go.
drive it out of the shop and then pull it in and out to do the ancillary shit.
Can you fit 16s over Super Duty brakes, or do they have to be 17s?
I feel like you might have to do 17s on Super Duties.
This guy is selling a set of 8x6.5. Like, I don't think they're not steelies, but they're like polished mags, probably.
Yeah.
With some 315, 12.5, 16 trail grapplers with good tread. $1,500 for the set of 4.
That's the other thing. If I can find a set that I like that still has decent enough tires on it,
yep,
fucking run it all day.
Are yours 8x6.5 or 8x170?
I don't remember. I think it's 8x170.
Yeah, because I know the 14 bolts 8x6.5.
Yeah,
and I'm planning on running 8x6.5 hubs.
Yeah,
that you can either re-drill or buy.
Yep.
To match that, and I think I just found my wheels. These are Steelies. They're Chevy 2500 8-lug Steelies, 17-inch for $150.
That's not bad.
Where's this? Oh, it's in Frederick.
There you go. We know where Tom's going after this episode.
Facebook Marketplace, you did it again. That's what I need. Parts that I don't... Oh, yes. Actually, you might have to fight Devin for these.
Uh-oh.
TSL Super Swampers.
Yeah, no. I'm not fighting anybody for those.
38.5, 8x6.5 wheels, $600 for the set.
That was the other thing.
These actually still have some... no,
I may actually go up to 38.5 because they do look good.
God, I'm actually surprised Devin hasn't bought these already.
No, he doesn't have any money.
There's a lot of 8x6.5. You should check your bolt pattern of your axles. There's a ton of 8x6.5 available.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be curious to see if the 6.5 would fit or not.
I don't remember. I just have my phone.
Because
I can look this up.
I'm pretty sure Hadley said they're out of a 2005 Super Duty.
Super Duty.
And everything that I've looked up is 8x170. So
8x170.
Yep.
Well, that's 11 to 16. Ford's historically 8x170, so yeah. 8x170.
Because I'm from everything else that I've read, that 2005 and up is all 8x170.
99 and newer is 8x170.
Yep. Because if somebody's giving away some Tremor wheels for cheap, that would be awesome.
I know where you can get a set. Tommy's truck.
Tommy, sell me your wheels and tires.
Who said anything about selling them?
Well, we'll take them and then we'll give you some Rocktrix ones. How's that?
I think they were doing 8x170 because Dodge, all the new GM and Ford are all 8x170 now.
Yeah.
And I think that was the first bolt pattern they were going to come out with for their 8 lugs.
Yeah. So. Tommy, give me your wheels.
Yeah.
Mine.
I
need wheels.
I mean, he might just sell you his whole truck because he's like selling everything at this point.
I hope not. We're supposed to go wheeling.
Does this come out? This might come out after that trip.
Probably. Then he might actually sell everything.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Anyway, yeah. Well, on that bombshell, we're double toned up on Tuesday.
Yep. We'll plan another.
A lot of hypothetical building going on around here.
We'll plan another like follow up, and hopefully
next July.
Hopefully, by then, I'll at least have the Jeep on jack stands with the rear being somewhat prepared to go in.
Yeah. Well, I will say the one nice thing about axle builds, you can do a lot of work without taking your Jeep apart.
Yeah.
Like, you can do 90% of that swap without taking your Jeep apart.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Well, that's the other goal in mind without having to stretch it is I don't have to change that much.
Yeah.
So it's just cleaning up the axle.
Like, you can literally buy the swap truss, gear it, lock it, and bolt it into your Jeep, master cylinder, brake lines, and go about your business.
Yep.
Like, it would literally be that simple.
Like I said, I've got the majority of it already from Hadley.
Yeah.
The hardest part was, I want him to do the truss for me, but he doesn't have the measurements. But
right. Well, and the problem you're gonna have, and it's not really a problem, with all the brackets loose like that from Hadley.
Yeah.
You're going to need to take your Jeep apart and locate all those brackets.
Yep.
Where if you buy the swap truss or build if you had the measurements to build your own swap truss, you just locate the truss on the axle, weld it on, and then bolt it into your Jeep.
True.
Because it's set up for your Jeep.
Yeah.
Where you now have to go and set up. Which, again, it's not that it's that much work.
No.
But it's that extra step.
Yeah.
It's less welding, but it's more downtime is kind of how I'm looking at it. Not that my Jeep is up, but the heartache and because we kind of went through it with the Comanche, and the Comanche is really we were probably a little bit above our skill set at the time, 7 years ago that we started it.
Yeah.
Like, knowing what I know now, we would have done the Comanche completely different, and it probably would be
LS.
No. I'm talking from a suspension standpoint. Like,
coilovers.
I don't know. No, I don't think we would have done the coilovers. It would still be 3-linked. We just would have done the 3-link differently.
Yeah. I would love to see somebody do a Dirt King build.
Like an independent front suspension build?
No. Like using Dirt King components
on
a Comanche.
That would be an independent front suspension.
No.
Doesn't Dirt King make independent front suspensions?
For like the rear. Do like
4-link?
Do like the brush guard in the front.
You're talking about a pre-runner Comanche.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's been done.
Yeah.
Yeah, the problem is we live on the East Coast, so we don't get fun pre-runner things.
Yeah, there's no whoops.
Yeah.
A lot of whoops, but no whoops.
Yeah. Those are oopsies or whoopsies. And I think on that bombshell, I think we'll end it on the whoopsies. Yeah, I don't know. You have anything to add?
No.
All right.
Just trying to get it started.
Yeah. Well, thanks for joining us on our 50 side quests on Ton Tuesdays.
If ADD was a podcast,
it would be called The Dirt Drive. So it's the TDD. Podcast. All right, DirtNerdsOffroad.com. That'll take you to everything you need. Dirt Drive on socials.
Yep.
DirtNerds Motors on social. PJ Pomada Photography.
Yep. Or the Jeep guy, if you want to follow the build. I'll may or may not document the build, but we'll see.
We're trying.
I got to get it started first.
Trying. This shit's hard.
You've seen a little bit of what we've been doing for the travel portion of it, but the build aspect is so-so.
Yeah. If you want to build Jeeps, don't have kids.
Yeah.
It's my advice.
Okay.
Bye, friend.